Greetings to all, and welcome to the Jamaica Diaspora Show. My name is Mark Millward of the West Indian Social Club of Hartford, and I'm your host. The Jamaica Diaspora Show is aimed at providing viewers with coverage of diaspora news and activities in a variety of areas, including business, arts, health, education, entertainment, politics, immigration, trade, and investment. Our first show featured an exclusive interview with the Most Honorable Andrew P. Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, who talked about the Economic Growth Council and harnessing the power of the diaspora. Tune in for more coverage in the future on the activities of the Economic Growth Council and diaspora engagement. Hartford, Connecticut is the third largest population of Jamaicans in the United States, behind Miami and New York. We intend to provide our viewing audience with global diaspora perspectives and coverage from the US, UK, Canada, Jamaica, and of course the Caribbean. Please join us weekly, Saturdays at 2 p.m. and Sundays at 3 p.m. on Hartford Public Access Television, providing global television network coverage at www.hpatv.org. Welcome to the Jamaica Diaspora Show. We are on location in Kingston, Jamaica at the Jamaica Diaspora Conference 55. And I am here with the chairman, Dr. Rupert Francis. Dr. Rupert Francis, thank you very much for being here and welcome to the Jamaica Diaspora Show.
Thank you, Mark. It's a pleasure to be here. I think it's important, especially when we just finished a very successful conference. And I must say, the most successful conference that I've been to. And it's been very interactive. A lot has been said about a lot of things, but mostly crime. Very direct and amazing, people say.
It seemed that from the feedback that was given by the participants, that crime was at the top of the list, crime and security concerns.
Crime and security. We knew that in order to propel growth in this country, we have to do something about crime, because there's a real cost to crime. When you consider that it takes up almost 5 to 6% of our GDP or even more, which in terms of money, we are looking at about $80 billion. Wow. That's amazing.
That is amazing. Now let me ask you this. This task force was formed, how long has it been since it was formed? And what has been the efforts put forth by the task force to date?
Well, this task force began when we saw an upsurge in violence in Jamaica somewhere after 2015. We have always been watching it, but then it had gone out of 40 murders in 1 week. Of course, since then it has gone further. So we, as concerned Jamaicans in the diaspora, we felt that it was about time that we demonstrated that not only were we Jamaicans, in fact in Jamaica, but we are Jamaicans abroad too. So we got together with law enforcement people, ex-military, sociologists, psychologists, criminologists, every person who could add to the whole discussion about crime was added. Professors, laymen, persons who worked in every era gave their support and their, what should I say, encouragement for us to do something about crime. That was May 27th, 2015. Yeah, that's when we started. And we got the permission and the support of the Jamaican embassies abroad first. And then we set out the idea to everyone else. And it has grown exponentially.
Now this task force is a collaborative effort.
Absolutely.
It involves the U.S.,
yes.
UK, Canada. Can you?
We know because we started in the U.S. with, say, about 70 persons. We now have globally maybe in the thousands. And we have The UK has expanded exponentially. Canada is expanding as well, and we are moving out next year to bring other jurisdictions on the, local jurisdiction, not just international jurisdiction, to make sure we have everybody on the same course and we can do other things.
So how will you measure results? Because now one of the questions that has come across is how can a diaspora outside of Jamaica have an impact on the crime and security situation in Jamaica?
Very good question. The fact of the matter is that the where crime has reached now and the impact of crime based upon reports, based upon evidence, we need a collective attitude towards crime, both from overseas and here. And what we have in terms of the people that are involved are experts in their own field, FBI agents, law enforcement agents, persons who work in the court and what have you. We have put all this, and they're Jamaican, so that they bring that cultural context to it. Now, having said that, we came down to Jamaica, we did an 11-day fact-finding mission. At the end of the 11 days, we collated all the points that we heard from everybody, the opposition, the government, NGOs, anybody who had the man on the street. And we came up with 5 actionable items. And what is interesting is, when you hear, we submitted this final report to the government in December of 2016. And when you hear the position of the government now and the actionable items, we have to believe that there's some correlation between our report and what the government has put out. But more importantly, we have come down to Jamaica as diasporans. We have helped in any way we can. I have been able to lecture to members of the police force and members of the security forces in general. We're able to, when they have bills that are going to on the floor or being discussed, for example, the crime bill, the corrections bill, the recent bill in regards to crime of zone of areas of protection, we have been able to comment on it and make our feelings known. For example, one of the key things that we said was we would like to see the army and the police involved. We'd like to see transparency. We'd like to see justice for Jamaicans. Because, if the people that we are serving do not believe that they are getting justice, then we are not going to get anywhere with crime. Right now, the tail is literally wagging the dog. You have a situation where a small group of people are really running the country in terms of crime. No, we want to switch that around, as it should be, because we do believe that there are more good people in Jamaica than that there are bad people. In fact, I don't even think that there are any bad people in Jamaica. Not over again.
Well, now, with the global effort,
yes,
the United States has USAID as an international agency that can aid in resources, and I'm talking about in dollars.
Yes.
Are the other partners, UK and Canada, aligned? I know you are, in some ways, have been aligned with USAID.
Absolutely.
In this effort.
Here's the thing. We have taken on partners, and they have taken on us as well. So we have had some help from the USAID, Homeland Security, and so on. Brexit, I understand, the UK has in fact also been giving the security forces funding. And we are working with, for example, NIA, and they have been drawing down these monies to assist in reducing corruption in Jamaica, and we're partnering with them. We're looking forward to doing the very same thing in terms of body, but not necessarily as the advisory board or the diaspora board. We have to do it in another context, but that's what we're doing, and we see that happening in very short order.
Okay, now you mentioned that you did the fact-finding mission.
That's correct.
But now I also understand that you were here to deliver some training. And
yes.
Can you talk about that, please?
Yes, I can talk about that. We came down and we spent some time with the police, and we were able to carry out some training with them. What we're looking forward to doing even more is to be able to do strategic and tactical training with them, not just theory and so on. But we wanted to most importantly build their morale, because there's no way they're being given literally a basket to carry water, Of course there are issues, we must agree. You know, everybody, even the minister agreed that there are issues in the police, but it's not everybody. And so therefore we don't want to show the baby with the bathwater. We want to make sure we concretize it. There are things that, as I mentioned, there are 5 actionable items. One of them was trying to create a safer cities program, for example. Intelligence-driven support to support the police. Because right now there's a conversion rate of only 5% of the 100% of cases. That means 95% of people may not be carried home to justice at any time in the future. This is unsustainable. So therefore, we are talking about the cases that are coming to court. The backlog of cases, we are working in that area as well. We are talking about youth at risk. We are also working with that, trying to see if we can prevent and intervene before they become criminals themselves. And even when they are incarcerated, do you realize that there are about 3,800 youngsters right now in prison? They will be out in 3 years. If something is not done that they can have a job or some form of endeavor, what's going to happen? They're going to write back recidivism. So that is our concern right now with the ministry and what have you. And the final one is we are talking about also intelligence fusion center, as I said, not only to protect our borders. We were talking about instead of using manpower, using electronic power. We are talking about maybe using drones and what have you. In other words, forward, and we're having conversations. I have never ever seen any better reception in my life on any topic than I have seen in the past few months and years in Jamaica working with these people.
Now that's very insightful, but how, when we look at problems and we look for solutions, we have to identify to the root cause.
Yes.
And so the situation with crime is such a tremendous problem that you cannot police crime away. There's not enough police to address it. So what is the, I know you mentioned it, you know, the corrective actions that need to be taken to develop youth, to give them opportunities so that they don't look to move in that direction. What kind of constructive discussions have been going on to get to the root cause of that problem? Because it does impact the business environment as well as the investment environment.
Well, let's look at it this way. As I said, it's an approach that has to take from the womb to the tomb. I mean, we have youngsters, we have people who are growing up in families that are broken, the society is broken, and there's no seem to be no end in sight, and there are no solutions. There isn't enough funds there to actually drive some of the processes. But what I've found happening now is that the diaspora, if we can engage the diaspora properly, to get involved, I've seen over these past few months and years, then we will have less instances of youngsters being incarcerated and more criminality. Do you realize that, in fact, since we've started our initiative, we have found that minor crimes have diminished, but major crimes, unfortunately, have diminished. And that is why it appears as if crime is so much out of control. It is, to be quite honest. But when you look at it from a perspective of a balance, there you have it. Minor crimes are being reduced, and major crimes, we are hoping that we'll reverse that in short order.
Now, I had a conversation with someone who was involved in this discipline called appreciative inquiry. Have you ever heard of that?
Appreciative inquiry, yes, to a certain extent I've heard of it, yes.
And the person relayed to me that appreciative inquiry being a tool, as a tool, was used to address a crime and security matter. And I would offer perhaps as a suggestion as an item for further inquiry on that. That was something that I'd mentioned to the individual, and it seemed that it was a approach taken towards crime and the security situation. We have many Jamaicans that would like to return home.
Oh, yeah.
There are many Jamaicans that are afraid to
Yes,
even visit
absolutely.
Kingston.
Mhm.
So what kind of encouragement can you give them?
Well, first of all, they have to appreciate that people are going to, self-preservation is motivation, and they want to try to preserve themselves. But they've had bad incidents. We have one person, for example, who testified today that her father was killed during the process, and as it left a bad taste in her mouth over 35 years, she was been returning for the first time. Now, I understand that, but what people have to understand is that Jamaica is still doing business, and we are still carrying out business and so on. Of course, we have some people that are out of control. We have to appreciate that because of the fact that we don't have enough jobs, and we don't have enough job security, and we don't have to look forward to involving more youth into employment, you're going to have this. However, I do believe that if the assurances that I heard today, in many of the forums that I heard, that if we have the diaspora and the government coalescing as they are, I think we'll reduce that. And I would say that people who are returning they have to think about it, of course, but they have to make sure that they do their due diligence first. We have things in place right now in the country that's going to help them transition, and they're safe. I have people who have returned, and they're safe, and they don't have to worry too much about it. But of course, we can't say brush it off because it is a factor. Yes.
Now the minister that oversees the
Minister Montague, yes.
Minister Montague for National Security.
Right.
Can you speak to some of the highlights of his speech?
Yes, we can speak to have some highlights. First of all, he assured the conference that they are not going. He had a 5-pillar approach towards the reduction of crime and violence. And he first spoke about community policing, for example, the more bringing the community into, without bringing the community into community policing, and everybody being aware of their own situations and what have you. We are not going to get far because, community police involves everybody in the community. They feel a part of the community, and trust is evoked between the community and the police. Now, without that, we can't go very, very far. Another area they're talking about was to provide gainful employment to the youngsters that are about, so that they can feel as if they are going to make it and what have you, and there's not this dearth of no hope, so that's one of the things that they're thinking about. Also, they're talking about in the 5 pillars of encouraging swift justice, bettering the court system, bettering the detection system, bettering the intelligence system, so you would have better ability to stop a crime. That was part of the minister, what he was speaking about. He also said he was not going to be soft on crime at all. And also better the resources of the criminals. Sorry, the policemen, so that they could effectively take out the criminals. That was one thing that I was very, very impressed. Everybody was impressed. And he spoke to them in plain talk. And that's
what kind of initiatives can be taken towards rehabilitation of prisoners while they are in prison?
Well,
is that an area that
yeah, that's an area of very, very serious concern. But what we're also saying is that what they've been doing in the prisons also is making sure that the prisoners are paying their way. At least 1 or 2 meals per week they should be paying for. They should be actually making, farms out there and feeding the population instead of being dependent on society. He has been moving in that direction. Not only that, they're talking about making them more tailors, shoemakers, artisans of some sort, that they can find jobs when they come out, because it makes no sense to put a man behind bars for 5 years. He comes out, and what is he going to do if he has no way of, in fact, helping himself to move forward?
So rehabilitation within the prison system is something that is being discussed.
Absolutely being discussed. They have no even new facilities with new things to show, masonry, carpentry, and what have you. So no longer are people there twiddling their thumbs. Yes.
Now for viewers who are not aware, and I'm certainly not aware, as far as the system, is there opportunities within the prison system now where the focus on rehabilitation has enabled the prisoner to come out of prison and be rehabilitated. In a sense, in the United States, we have opportunities where, for example, the individual can get a college degree.
Yes, absolutely. We have had in the prison system, the youngsters, a number of CXC passes, and they've gone on to college, and they are getting college degrees eventually. And so the whole idea is that we are, because we have known that the lack of education and the inability to reach education is a person who is bereft of understanding and compromise. So that's one of the things that, yes, of course, they've been doing that.
Okay. Well, Dr. Francis, I think that you have a very, very difficult task ahead of you. I know you have been given a lot of support, and I want to compliment you on all that you're doing to address this huge problem. There are many who are eager to, as I said before, return home, and with the efforts that you're putting forward, hopefully that can happen.
Mark, as I said, it's not a one-person thing, it's a collective thing, from Negril to Moran Point, from Ocherous to Kingston. We have to get together, we have to rest and decide it is our problem, not just their problem. We have to understand that although we live in the diaspora, we are part of Jamaica. We're constantly going vacationing there, we have our homes there, and what have you, and so on and so forth. We definitely have to encourage, and what I saw today was an outpouring of people who really want to make a difference, so that we can rest assured there wouldn't be these problems anymore. And I know that the road is tough, and it's very difficult, but I know with you and many other ways, we're getting the word out there, and we're laying the foundation, and we're not going to give up. Those guys cannot win. That's my view.
Well, so to go a little bit further on that point, what are you asking for? What would you ask of the diaspora?
I would ask every member of the diaspora who is watching this, first of all, share it with other members of the diaspora. We are doing things. We are not just, we want action, not a back of mouth. We are not going to sit on the sideline anymore and pretend that it is not happening. Or have what is called the bystander effect, hoping that somebody else is going to do that. Let me tell you something. We have Jamaicans abroad. They wear the colors, they wear the shirts, they celebrate our victories and what have you, and they do not send a penny to Jamaica to help Jamaica. My view, pick up the phone, call the number, call my number, which is 909-727-9030, 909-727-9030, or go on Facebook. Go on Facebook where we have a page. Indicate your situation. Tell us your experiences. Tell us if you want to help us. It's called the Jamaica Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force. I repeat, Jamaica Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force. No, you can do those things. You can also email us, diasporaj7@gmail.com. So easy, diasporaj7@gmail.com. No, when you do that and you pick up your phone or you call us, you leave a message, and what have you, and we can get back in touch with you. We want to hear from everybody in every nook and cranny. We have over 4 million people in the US, UK, and Canada. If we put our hearts together as one people, one nation, with one voice, listen to me, these guys will have to reverse, the country will be better off, and we want to think before we go to Jamaica. It will be our preferred destination.
So,
that's my view.
So that's excellent, because that's your communication medium.
Yes.
And we will put that information on the screen.
Absolutely.
So that they'll have access to your phone number.
Yes.
They'll have access to the
email,
email and to the
Facebook,
website.
yes.
How are you?
We are looking for people to help us. You don't have to have law enforcement. We want to put an organization unparalleled. We have grown exponentially. in the history of the diaspora. We want to put an organization together that is so effective, you would think that we'd be the FBI of the diaspora, in the sense that we are not seeking to incarcerate, we are just seeking to release our people from the stranglehold of crime and violence. And I think it can be done. And people said it couldn't be done, that we as Jamaicans can't sit down with differing, interests and talk and come to a conclusion and a consensus for Jamaica. Come on, it's foolishness. When Usain Bolt wins, we cheer. When the Reggae Boys win, hopefully tonight they will, we cheer. When our girls and boys we cheer. So why can't we cheer for each other and work with each other, regardless of our perceived differences, for the interests of Jamaica? I say Jamaica land we love. I'm a born Jamaican. I'll be a Jamaican like that. I was born and bred one, and I don't think I am going to change at all. I don't want to.
Okay, so then, as I wrap this up, I just want to get your take on going forward from this conference for the next 3 to 6 months. Do you have?
Absolutely.
I know you've had meetings while you're here, so
yes.
have you strategized what you're
We are strategizing. We are recruiting. We want competent people, professional people, first as volunteers. Once we get the funding, we will then see whether we can put people in place. We want to set up a branch in Jamaica and in other jurisdictions so that there's a go-to area that we can go to. Remember, we were the ones who encouraged the setting up of the Jamaica Diaspora Deportation Committee, which is hugely effective and what have you, with Joan Pinnock and the other attorneys. So we are saying no. Listen, we can do the very same thing. If we can roll those out without funds, can you imagine when we have heavily funding? So Jamaicans, get involved, get your funding and fund our nation, and so that we can get rid of these negatives out of our repertoire.
So then, so for the viewers and for further information and to keep abreast with what you're doing, what you're accomplishing, and for those that are interested in returning, for them to be able to see progress, the primary communication medium you have now is your website. Is that?
It's on Facebook forum. We put out a lot of news releases under the auspices of the diaspora, calling all Jamaicans. But if they look out, they will see it. We have a lot of news articles going out. If you even Google it, there's information there. So let me put it this way, they just have to get involved and they will see it.
And they will see the progress.
They will see the progress. And we're going to give them progress. We're going to give them step by step what we are doing. And we'll keep them informed. We are setting up a team so if we have any experts out there for Facebook, for social media in general, we welcome you. We want to set up our own team to do that, PR team and so on. We will be, in another 6 months, we will be a full driving organization, with all the components of an organization, reaching out, reaching back, speaking to people and so on. And we're doing it now, and we're going to get better at it.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, because this topic was I think someone said it was the most important topic at the conference.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you talk about education, when you talk about health, you talk about business, you talk about those topics, and then you look at what or the impression being that, this subject matter was the #1 topic at the conference.
You can crown it by saying, if you do not get rid of crime, or if you do not control crime, it will affect every part of your life. And it will make you miserable and uncomfortable to live. You have to look behind you. We don't want a land of look behind. We want a land of looking forward. Yes. That's how I see it.
All right. And thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming to the Jamaica Diaspora Show.
Yes.
On location in Kingston, Jamaica.
Yes.
This is Mark Millard. I'm going to sign out here, and I'm going to say that this show will air in Hartford, Connecticut, probably next week. It is the first show that I will air regarding the Jamaica Diaspora Conference. Thank you for joining us, and Stay tuned for more programming on the Jamaica Diaspora Show each week on Harvard Public Access Television. Thank you.